we have done things is appropriate, and that our politeness, our kindness to one another is a Wisconsin value that ought not be sacrificed on the altar of a new and ugly politics. We are the ones who are saying that cruelty and a violence of language, an attack on one another because you don't like the other side, we're saying that's not what politics ought to be about. Politics ought to be about a battle of ideas. Unfortunately, those who cannot win a battle of ideas go to Texas and Florida and raise tens of millions of dollars to try and shut us down. So, we got so many microphones up here, I'm having a hard time figuring out which one's which. But can we turn, just pull some of these down now? But if you can hear me, let me just say this. I was born in Racine, Wisconsin. I was raised in Union Grove, Wisconsin. I went to church at St. John's Episcopal Church in Burlington, Wisconsin. I learned my values in this place. And those values tell me that you do not need someone to come and tell you how to vote. You don't need me to come and say what you ought to do on June 5th. You also do not need me to tell you how important what you've already done is. But what I will tell you is this. What you are doing is vitally important to the rest of America and to the rest of the world. On Tuesday night in Egypt, there will be people who tune in to scratchy radios to hear what news out of Wisconsin. In India, they will turn on their television to find out what news from Wisconsin. You think I'm exaggerating? I am not. I was in Chicago the other day at a rally that nurses put together on behalf of fair taxation. And as that rally was finishing up, a guy ran up to me on the street and he pulled out a card. He said, "I've come here from Ireland. I'm a member of the trade union movement in Ireland. We're here to talk about all these fair taxation values and I'm putting a tax on speculators and the big money people." He said, "But I want to talk to you. I don't know if you are a religious man." And I said, "Well, I went to church at St. John's in Burlington. Of course I am." He said, "Well, I want you to know this. Every night before I go to sleep, I go to the internet and I see what the latest news is out of Wisconsin. And I hope you don't mind me saying this, but after I've read the news before I go to sleep, I say a little prayer for those who are fighting in Wisconsin for economic and social justice." And he said, "I say that prayer because I know this. I know this. If they win in Wisconsin, then we can do it in Ireland and around the world. If they can beat this back in Wisconsin, it can happen in every state of America and in every country on this planet." This is a powerful movement that's been built here, folks. This is something real, and it's something much bigger than any individual and any individual struggle and any individual party. What we are talking about here is the most basic of all questions, and that is the question that Robert M. La Follette asked 100 years ago. Which shall rule, wealth or human beings? Who shall fill the stations of public trust? Free and patriotic men and women, or the feudal serfs of corporate capital? That's what Robert M. La Follette said a century ago, and it is the same struggle today. Will we have a democracy, or will we have an oligarchy that rules us from above? We say democracy. We say democracy. We say democracy. This is what democracy looks like, and we say it to the world.